Welcome back to another episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast. I'm your host, Skin Slip. That's my co-host, Owen Neal. Uh, we watched a movie I've already seen before. He had not seen, called Microwave Massacre. And, I have lots of assumptions to make about this movie. But, Owen, I want you to tell us about why you picked it, why, just, and then start taking us through it and all that.
Because I bought it for some reason, and it's been sitting on the shelf, so I figured I should watch it.
Now, you got the Arrow video release, correct?
Yeah, the Blu-ray release.
Yes.
I flipped the cover.
That beautiful cover, by the way. I really like that cover. I had the same disc, but mine's actually in this white paper sleeve because I actually have a check disc, which is basically just a plain white disc, which I'm showing to the camera, but if you're listening to the podcast, it's a plain white disc with the words Blu-ray Microwave Massacre on it. And that's it. And I just never bothered to buy it yet. I haven't bothered to buy it yet, and I probably won't we'll talk about why in this movie, but in this part. But I mean, it's worthy of note. There's the documentary behind the 20-minute behind the scene thing will give you some insight, and I would like to actually listen to the commentary at some point. Just give this movie a full fair shake, and just because it'd be really interesting as a corner piece of or a little piece of regional filmmaking, right? Because that's what this is. It's a regional filmmaking. This director found his money and said, or this guy found his money. He was apparently a dialogue supervisor or whatever at one of the studios. I didn't want to like know too much because I had some assumptions about the movie that I'll have to shatter later, but won't make it as good of an episode of podcast. So, all I know is he was a dialogue editor at Universal and had aspirations apparently. Not Universal, at some studio. I don't know why I said Universal. Maybe it is Universal. Anyway, I digress. He had aspirations to make this movie, and so he made the darndest movie he could. The most movie-like movie he could probably make with this money, and that's what Microwave Massacre is. It's that kind of movie. So you know what you're getting into. Owen, why don't you take us through it?
Okay. I mean, I'm going to be honest. We mostly just had it playing in the background. I tuned out a lot, so I got the gist of it.
Oh,
I know
really?
It starts with a woman who gets her tits stuck in a fence. So that's right off the bat.
Oh, God. Sorry. That's just phrasing. I know. Very blunt phrasing. Yeah. She does. She gets her... Okay, so first, right off the bat, it smacks you in the face, figuratively speaking, with terrible comedy. And I'll tell you right now, it does not let go the entire 76 minutes of this movie that feels like 2 hours long. Anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah, that's how it starts. So, and then we're introduced to the three construction workers. The main guy, the old guy, and he's not happy with his giant crab sandwich that his wife made him. Like, not even cooked crab by the looks, just a crab stuck between two pieces of bread.
Character's name is... Oh, no. The actor's name is Jackie Vernon. The character's name is Donald. Donald, yes.
Oh.
The only character of importance that you need to know the name of, Donald. Everyone else you can just go with generalization, since we don't know any character beyond a generalization anyway.
He goes home, sees his naked neighbor and some guy wearing her lingerie. I don't know. She keeps popping up throughout the movie, doing weird stuff. But then he has a little fantasy when he gets home about killing his wife. But he doesn't. He goes back to work, eats another, which looks like a fucking dog food sandwich this time.
Hold on. You have to edit out that audio thing. My mic thing is coming apart real quick. I gotta put it back together. And I know you're gonna hear all this, which is why I'm like, hold on. All right, continue.
Yeah, it just kind of cuts back and forth of him not being happy, and eventually he does, in fact, come home drunk and kills his wife. She
Yeah.
doesn't remember. And he stuffed her in a giant. The whole idea is she bought this humongous microwave, even though she has 4 ovens, because she doesn't want to cook.
It was
Or
filet, flambe, pate, and saute. Those were the 4 ovens, by the way. They were neatly marked. This is a visual sight gag in this movie, because the idea is, I think the visual gag is implying that there's a lot of these specific things in the kitchen that do just one thing, and they're taking up all the kitchen. I think that's the visual commentary we're getting from here. But it just kind of, like all the humor in this movie, falls flat on its face, because it's just not funny in a traditional sense. It's a funny ho-ho, not funny ha-ha. Like, ho-ho, what? What? That's, why would you, what the, oh my god, and the gay stereotype. Woohoo! Don't even, oh my
he
god.
only saw that guy twice, though.
I know, and it's, and there's two, and both times they make it really terrible gay jokes about him. It's just,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. So he kills his wife, wakes up the next day, doesn't remember, opens up the microwave, she's in it, and he's like, I'm going to put her on broil and go to work. Because why not?
Because he wanted
Chops
to
her
punish her corpse, I guess.
Wraps her up in some tinfoil, puts her in a thing, goes to work with his new meat chunk. It was just a chunk of meat. I guess that was her cooked.
Yeah, part of her cooked. Correct.
And then his friends tried it, and they're like, it's kind of old and tough. And he's like, I'm still learning how to cook it. It'll get better. And then literally it just kind of jumps back and forth between him killing random women he has sex with and cooking them and bringing them to work. And his friends are like, it's delicious.
Yep. Earlier on there's the gay guy. He's like some lady. I don't know why. What was the reason why she was like hitting on him? Like what? Anyway, he
the guy
acts
with the
like
mustache brought her over. Said, look how strong he is. And then she touches his bare chest, and he's like, I'm gonna get a rash.
They act like he was allergic.
And then the mustache guy makes out with her.
It's and like weird shit like this keeps happening. Like literally, there's these weird. My favorite part is these guys work at a construction site, and this entire fucking movie, the construction site's just an empty lot, and like occasionally they're sitting in front of a wood board or a pile of rocks, and in one scene, some other guys are pouring cement, and our main characters are over here in front of a wood fence. You never actually see them working in construction.
Well, at one point you see him running a bucket loader.
Oh yeah, okay, but whatever.
Beginning of the movie.
So the actual construction site let this local guy who's making the movie and sit and use their back loader for like 3 minutes. I mean, like, oh my god, this guy had aspirations of being a director, and glad this was his only movie.
To be fair, we were only tuning in for their lunch, though.
I mean, I've seen the whole movie. I did a review of this on my channel. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I ever released it, but I did record the review.
But yeah, I mean, none of the kills were particularly good. He just kills them, cuts them up, cooks them, tinfoils them, and puts them in a fridge and talks to his wife's head. And
then there's a bunch of one-liners about the food or something about some misogynist comment about women or...
Or the neighbor using a vibrator to plant seeds.
The neighbor makes all these weird, gross sexual things. Like, he goes out one day and she's pissing. She's just pissing in his yard. And she's like crouched down and you see her from behind and you just... like a fucking fire hose into the yard. Like, just... full on, like, like someone's been drinking all weekend and hasn't peed much, and they had like a 5-minute fire hose piss. That's what this lady was doing in his front yard, and he just like looks at her like she's just a weirdo, and then goes on about his day. And weird things like this keep happening. It's the one thing that keeps happening throughout the movie, and it's just
Does
so weird.
does he even kill her?
I think she's the one who gets him caught, right?
Like he killed her, and that's the one he was cooking when he died.
Yeah, I think that's. No.
All I remember is her. The last I remember her was she was planting seeds with her vibrator, and he's just like, "That's one weird chick."
And she was holding the
And then he
vibrator like
goes
a
and
penis and kind of like stroking it and like doing sexually suggestive things.
but then he goes and kills the Asian woman, doesn't he? And then makes some joke about.
Oh yeah, Peking chick. No, you mean Peking duck. No, I mean Peking chick. You're like, oh my god, Christ, Christ
Pretty much like the
Almighty,
end already.
Buzz Christ Almighty. At least joke. I mean, these jokes are throughout the movie. You could literally rearrange the entire movie in any order. And at some point he's talking to his therapist, and then he goes to the doctor for a checkup, and the doctor tells him, I'm taking over, I guess, tells him that he needs a heart transplant, a pacemaker, because his heart's bad. It's probably been bad for years or whatever. And so he gets the pacemaker, and he goes to cook the girl, and he dies.
Yep.
And then his friends the friends are coming over because they're supposed to be Peking chick. They come over and they enter his house because he's not answering. They come to the kitchen and he's just dead there, and they're all making jokes about his dead corpse. There's no acting like, oh my god, my friend just died. They're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they open they turn on the light in the microwave, and one guy goes, oh, I'm gonna be sick, because he realizes he's been chowing on humans. And we see the little sticker that says, if you have a pacemaker, it'll kill ya. Cut to, they're selling the house. Sans microwave. The microwave's crossed out on the sign, and there's reporter. Wow, this was a death trap, and with a pacemaker, because the first visual thing wasn't enough. He had to fucking beat it over our heads because he didn't trust his fucking audience. That's a sign of a bad director, a director who didn't do good, I should say. He could have become a better director. I don't fucking know. He made this one movie and it stinks.
Well, they said the wires were crossed.
Yes.
For the last joke of the movie, where they zoom in on the decapitated wife's head and her eyes glow. I assume hinting at that her head rolled in there and crossed the wires in the microwave to kill them.
There's Microwave Massacre 2 about, like, the old lady spirit floating head killing people. I'd watch that movie.
Swamp Head.
Oh my god, that's what we're pairing this with. And now, if you were listening to this, this would be followed by Swamphead, something we actually watched earlier. But since we're mentioning it in this order, you're gonna hear it after this.
Ugh. Yeah.
Ugh. I love that. That's ugh. Yeah. Alright, my thoughts.
That's
exactly.
the movie. That's all you need to know.
That's literally the whole movie. Like, that's it. I'm sorry to spoil the movie for you, but you really shouldn't see it. When it's a really good movie, we won't give you all the fucking spoilers. We might talk about the ending, but we'll always leave something in the middle. But when it's a bad stinker like this, we're just like, you just trust us.
This whole thing could have been avoided if he just wasn't a lazy fuck and made his own lunch.
It's almost a spoof. If it were funny, it could be considered a spoof of horror films, right? But Jackie Vernon, who was a comedian, gives no life to this because he's not a fucking actor. And it shows. This movie is so uncomfortably unfunny. We talked about Die Hard and Hard Boiled and other movies and the episodes we need to pair together for this podcast. And we talked about shit while the movie was happening, because you know what the movie was? Jackie Vernon eats somebody, then he goes out and kills somebody, and he cooks them after fucking them, and then he eats them, and then repeat the fucking process until the end of the movie, which I described. That's the whole movie. It's like Exterminator City all over again. Someone saw this movie and said, I can do a movie, and I'll make it better than that. And they made Exterminator City, and it was worse than this. Not to go on a rant about Exterminator City and its shittiness and how we'll never watch it for the show, because fuck that piece of shit. But, I'd rather watch this again. Seriously, I'd rather watch this again. twice in a row. I'd rather have to do that than to watch Terminator City. But this movie, I give this movie 1.5 stars out of 5.
I give it a 1.
There are
How
a
much?
few jokes that made me chuckle, and the rest of it's just.
I think I only really chuckled at the therapist, where he says he's been eating people, but the therapist is asleep, and then he's just like saying something. He's like, "I can't have sex with them unless I eat them," and he's like, "Good, go down on them." Give him a pep talk, and he's like, "Okay."
It's still funny because that's actually a really funny line. Yeah, it's funny.
I guess since his therapist said it was okay to eat them, he was good with it after that. He had a little bit of conscience.
Yeah, this movie. Yeah. Anyway, for those who are watching this video, not listening to the podcast, obviously, the next episode we're going to be talking about this movie starring the Barbarian Brothers called Twin Sitters. Hold on. Yeah, well, Owen can't see it because very well, but you've seen the cover. This movie came out in the wake of Problem Child. So imagine it's a shitty Problem Child ripoff, but it's the Barbarian Brothers who are heavy weightlifting twins, and twins that they have to watch. Here, I'll read the back. Prepare yourself for a double dose of comic adventure when the Barbarian Brothers, Peter and David Paul, are hired by a wealthy businessman to look after his new twin nephews while he testifies against the mob. Looking for an easy gig and a quick buck proves harder than they think. The Beef Boys in capital, by the way, get more than they bargained for when the spoiled twins show off their new babysitters just who boss. Anyway. I'll just leave that all fucked up. Anyway. And when the crooks come after the nephews, the action gets really pumping. Hang on to your dumbbells and get ready for some real twin sanity, with twice the action and twice the fun. I'm sorry, we're gonna watch this piece of shit. Here, I take it back. This is in the wake of Home Alone. The catchphrase is, you're never, or the tagline is, you're never home alone when you're a twin. So, yeah. Oh my god, this is full screen. I want Barbarian Brothers in high definition widescreen. Get me a Blu-ray stat. Give me a Blu-ray double feature of this and the Barbarians, which also features the Barbarian Brothers, which we'll be following this up with and pairing it together with. But yeah, that's it. There you go. Say goodbye, Owen.
The last words.
Oh yeah, I guess you have to edit that little chunk out and use the last words. All right. Any last words?
I'd say, if you like dumb jokes, you might actually like this movie. I mean, it's worth a shot. You know, there's a movie for everyone. I'm glad it exists.
I
didn't like it.
I would say the movie.
Sorry.
I would say the movie would be more entertaining if maybe I was with a group of like 4 or 5 people, right? And like at some point, someone's laughing at some dumb joke and makes a comment, and that makes everyone else laugh. You know, you could have fun with this movie with a group of people, but we couldn't find it. It wasn't this group. And it may not be your group, but you might want to give it a try. It could be funny. Could be so bad it's a good gem in your collection. Clearly, some people think that's so bad it's a good gem because it's got a gorgeous transfer from Arrow Video. So, clearly someone loves that movie enough. So if you like it, don't get offended. We're just saying we didn't like it.
Anyway. And not for naught. It looks like they had fun making it, so that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Unless they all had a miserable time, and it looks like they had fun making it, but I don't know.
And I do want to say, it isn't like a badly shot movie. It's actually well shot, composed. Like, there's nothing like terrible about it. And it's just everything else just falls apart. Alright, I think that's it. We're done?
We're done.
We're done. Take it easy, folks. I'll see you next week. Maybe, hopefully.